Welcome to Frontier Logistics, how to get paid on a claim. This is my claim story. We had a shipment delivered to a customer who did everything they needed to on the delivery receipt. They noted it and they took pictures while the driver was there. The carrier denied the claim. We literally had to take the carrier to court to get 91% of the value on the claim. I was extremely frustrated with this and I asked a former representative of that company about it later on. And they replied they were doing their job. And I said, what? He said, yep. That attorney was doing his job. It's his job to not pay the full amount on the claim. It's his job to keep their money in their bank account for as long as possible. He was just doing his job. Well, and that's what we're facing with most of the carriers today. That's why we're making this video. By following these principles, it'll give you your best chance of getting paid on a claim. We'll start with evaluation. If it's a new product, you get $25 a pound. If it's used, you get between 10 cents and 50 cents a pound. If you have a class exception on your rates, they limit the value as far as a claim is concerned. This is an example of that. Know exactly what your carrier does if you have an FAK on your rates. For example, if it's a class 50 exception, you get $2 a pound. Class 70, $5.92 a pound. If it's a 92.5, you get $15.80, and a class 125, you get $23. The delivery receipt is the most important document as far as your claim is concerned. So we're going to spend some time on this, with this in the next couple of slides. If the driver checks one of these boxes and it's not a legitimate charge, and if one of your employees signs for this or your customer signs for it, we're getting charged for this and there's no way of getting out of that. Verify that these charges are correct and teach your people that they have to watch for this. We have literally gotten out of several erroneous residential delivery fees by providing the carrier with a Google Street View of the accurate address, showing them that this is an industrial area, not a residential area. The next thing you'll notice is the number of skids versus the number of pieces. If the delivery receipt shows the number of pieces, always sign for the number of pieces and then the number of skids. To get the number of pieces on the delivery receipt, it must be on the bill of lading. We'll talk about that in just a second. The last thing I want you to notice is the exception portion at the bottom. Over, short, damage, and the shrink wrap broken, or some of them are going to say shrink wrap intact. Know what these things are and check these boxes correctly. Now, it gives you a very small section in here to do your exceptions. You can write it anywhere on the delivery receipt. Don't limit yourself to just that so it's not readable and it's too small. The next important thing is do not sign the delivery receipt until it has been inspected for damage or loss. Do not let the driver hurry you or leave without signing the delivery receipt properly. He is obligated to stay there and count the number of pieces with you and allow you to inspect the damages on the skid and note it properly on there. Now, to hold the driver there, there must be some type of evidence to keep him there. Like you're going to count the number of pieces, there's obvious damage, and you're going to write that on there. When you're notating what is missing or what is damaged, put as much detail as possible. Note the model number of what's missing or damaged. Note the exact nature of the damage. For example, if you're doing a partition, note on there, 6 inches in from the upper right, 10 inches down, the partition is crushed. Or the intake manifold on my motor is crushed. Sign for the piece count, not the handling units. Because if you're signing for 5 pallets, they pick up 5 pallets, they deliver 5 pallets. If something is missing out of there, you're not going to get paid on the claim. If you're signing for 25 pieces on 5 pallets and you count 24 pieces, you're going to sign 24 pieces on 5 pallets. You'll get paid that way. When you're filling out a bill of lading, or if we're doing it for you, we're going to do this, state exactly what you're shipping. You can't state something generically to get a lower rate on it and expect to get paid on it on a claim. Show the number of pieces and then show the handling units after that. You can no longer say possible damage or subject to inspection. They used to be able to do that several years ago, but the carriers do not accept that anymore, and that won't get you paid on a claim if you put those exceptions on there. You must be specific and state exactly what it is. If you do not get any notations on the delivery receipt and it's a concealed damage, you have 5 days to notify us or the carrier to get 1/3 of the value. After the driver leaves, call us if we're doing this for you, or call the carrier immediately. The information that you need to call with is the carrier pro number, the description with as much detail as possible. If something is missing, we need the color of the boxes. What are the side marks on the boxes? As much description as possible so that we can find this for you, or the carrier can find it for you. Pull the packing list and get model numbers or ID numbers, and then provide the value. We will give you, or the carrier will give you, disposition based on this information. The next thing that's extremely important is to keep the product for inspection. Keep the packaging for inspection as well. Now, I realize that this is going to one of your customers or to a job site. This makes this much more difficult, but it's important to keep this. The next thing is we need to mitigate the claim if that is possible. So if this is damaged and it can be repaired, we have an obligation to do that. The last thing is before you get a claims check, they will pick up the damaged product and make sure it's in their hand. If you don't have the damaged product, you're not going to get a check from them. If you're shipping outbound, the best defense is a good offense. Proper packaging goes a long ways in preventing claims. Do not ship anything loose. You have to take into consideration the cost of packaging versus a claim and compare that with the goodwill you're going to lose with your customer and the employee's time of handling the claim, filing it, following up with the carrier, making sure you get paid, and the number of days your money is out because of the claim. The information that you need to file a claim, if we're doing this, we're going to do this for you, is a presentation for loss and damage, the carrier's delivery receipt, an official document showing the amount claimed. The last thing is they want the freight invoice paid before they're going to cut you a check on the claim. The next thing is the carriers will pay $50 an hour on repairs. The carriers will usually pay secondary freight. For example, if it can't be repaired and you need to bring it in and you get disposition from us or from the carrier, order the next one in and we can include those freight charges on the claim and get you reimbursed for it. Or the carrier will do that if you're going directly with them. The carrier is looking to pay the least cost. So they're going to ask you for invoices from the manufacturer, not from you to your customer. Do not settle if you have all of your documentation and you're in the right. We will push them back and we'll do everything we can to get you paid on a claim. We offer inexpensive claims insurance. It has a deductible, and when you get a quote from us, ask for that and we'll give you all the details. But basically it's $15 minimum, 50 cents for each $100 evaluation. So let's talk about case law for just a second. Piece count versus handling units. If your bill of lading shows 5 skids and the delivery receipt shows 5 skids, and even if you're missing several pieces out of there, you will not get paid for that. They pick up 5 skids, they deliver 5 skids. They can't verify the count. That's how you get paid on the piece count. The next thing is there's a duty on both sides, the person who now owns the product and the carrier, to mitigate the claim. Here's an example of the way that works. One of our customers had a shipment delivered where the boxes were wet and damaged. They didn't want to sell that to their customers, and so they were holding out for the full value of the claim. And we were going back and forth with the carrier to try and get the full amount. Well, in the meantime, the carrier decided, okay, based on this law, I'm going to send them $300 to repackage it. They sent them the $300. Our customer cashed it. The cow was out of the barn and there's nothing that we could do. If they didn't cash that check, we could have gone back and said, this negates the warranty and we want the full dollar amount. I bring this up to let you know and to be careful that both sides have the duty to mitigate, and that this is one way that the carrier can do that. And so you have to make sure that all your ducks in a row and you don't cash any checks for the carriers that aren't for the full amount or something that you've agreed on. The last thing I want to touch on is handling units versus pieces versus the total pieces. This is another case that we had. We had a shipment delivered to a customer where the box was opened and some of the pieces inside were missing. So we had 3 handling units with 15 pieces on the handling units, but the total number of pieces was 128. Part of those 128 were missing, and because the carrier could not verify the pieces inside the boxes that were on the pallet, we didn't get paid on that claim. So that's one downfall of this, is that if they can't verify it, you're not going to get paid on. This is the end of our presentation. I hope that this helped. If you have any questions, please give us a call to 08-884-1710. Thank you.